The coincidence was rich. As President Trump was bumpily rolling out his fake news awards on Wednesday night, many of Manhattan's media elite were gathering to toast Michael Wolff, the author of Fire and Fury, the best-selling book about the administration. Earlier in the day, Politico had declared the party, held at the Upper West Side apartment of Stephen Rubin, president and publisher of Henry Holt, a hot ticket, and Twitter's verified users were abuzz. So I hopped in a cab and headed uptown. Yeah, I'm here for the book party, I said to a steely-faced doorman. I didn't have an invite, but unlike at movie premieres, there were no clipboard-toting publicists. After a short ride in an elevator, I arrived in Mr. Rubin's home with its bookshelves lining floor to absurdly high ceiling. Overlooking the great room was a balcony, from which Mr. Wolff had given a rousing speech just moments before about the perks of being a White House wallflower. I was surprised to find the far-right conservative columnist and Trump supporter Ann Coulter, wearing a sleeveless black dress and black thigh-high boots, situated near the drinks table and chatting companionably with David Folkenflik of NPR and Dylan Byers of CNN. I had RSVP'd before the book came out. But then I thought, forget it, I didn't leak to him, Ms. Coulter said, but using a different F word. Also, Ms. Coulter didn't think Fire and Fury reflected so terribly on the president. I thought it was a great book, she said. One bad line every 20 pages. She also offered a bit of unsolicited advice to the president. Here's an idea, don't hire people who will trash you. Janice Min, the former editor of The Hollywood Reporter and Mr. Wolff's champion, was in town from Los Angeles. If this party were in L.A., she said, it would have started at 5 and ended by 7, and no one would have had a drink. Elsewhere, Mr. Rubin could be overheard recalling to a knot of guests the explosive reaction by the president to the book's release. I thought, if there's a God, he'll tweet. But then he sued. Laughs all around. I've been in publishing for twice your life and I don't recall the velocity and ferocity of this kind of publication, Jane Friedman, the former chief executive of HarperCollins, told me. This party is a throwback to when books were at the center of the conversation. Just in from London, James Linville, formerly an editor with the Paris Review, nodded in agreement. Even my cab driver on the way to Heathrow Airport knew all about the book, he said. Mr. Linville and Ms. Min weren't the only out-of-towners. I've joined every other reporter in being incredibly jealous of Michael's access, said Tammy Haddad, the DC doyen. Sometime after 9, when the party began to wind down, I approached Mr. Wolff. Looking characteristically dapper in a trim navy Anderson and Shepherd suit, he was cordial until I pulled out a notebook. Are you having fun at your party? I asked. The man of the hour declined to answer, abruptly ending the conversation by turning to talk to another guest. If there is anyone who knows the dangers of trusting a reporter, it might be Mr. Wolff.